welcome to another lovely episode of Me, Myself, and I. Since nobody wants to join me, I will do it by myself. Um, yeah. Anyways, let's just get straight into basically the injury news because that's really the only thing that we care about for fantasy football. Joe Burrow, turf toe, minimum of 3 months. That sucks. That sucks for Joe Burrow. That sucks for Ben, who had Joe Burrow. That sucks for Chase Brown. That sucks for Jamar Chase. That sucks for the entire Bengals team, who's now, at least for my projections, going to be a bottom 10 team for the rest of the year. Their defense is terrible. We were just hoping for a really high-powered offense. And Jake Browning is he's okay, but he's not Joe Burrow. So, Jaden Daniels with a knee sprain. So I've seen reports today that he's not going to practice. The coaches have said he's not going to practice until at least Friday. That doesn't sound fantastic to me, as he is a mobile quarterback, and if your knees don't work right or are sprained, then that could cause some issues. So I think he plays, to be honest, but I don't think he performs to the level of Jaden Daniels. So that sucks. My starting quarterback from last week, Justin Fields, decides to get knocked out with a concussion in like the third or fourth quarter after a big stinker. So he's out week 3, and he's going to be on the waiver wire. He's already on the waiver wire, but I think he's going to continue to be on the waiver wire. J.J. McCarthy, I just wrote down ankle. I don't remember exactly what happened, but he's got an ankle injury. Projections are 2 to 4 weeks. Dude was injured all last year. Comes in, plays 2 games. And from what I watched of this game, which I just kind of watched highlights, he looked terrible at first. And then I think it was like the second half, he started looking like he was making good decisions. He looked like a good QB. And then, so... Aaron Jones has a hamstring injury. He has been put on IR, so at least 4 weeks. You never like to see hamstring injuries with running backs. And there's been reports coming out now from Duval County that Brian Thomas Jr., while not on the injury report, has been dealing with a nagging wrist injury. So everybody's looking into why he was never put on the injury report or anything. And this is either one of two things. He has a legitimate wrist injury he's been dealing with, and that is why he has been underperforming a little bit. Or he's been underperforming a little bit, and the coach is trying to take some of the heat off of him by saying that he's dealing with, X, Y, Z, and kind of protect your guy. I have no idea, honestly. I mean, NFL players have nagging injuries all throughout the season that doesn't necessarily require them to, have a full injury disclosure. But a lot of the times, as you all well may, blah, 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 blah. As you guys know, all these players get put questionable, went from healthy to questionable. I got like 16 alerts today that half of my players are all now questionable. But I guess that's just the injury reporting world that we live in now. But I don't know. I don't really know what to think about Brian Thomas Jr. I don't have any shares of him personally, so haven't looked super far into it. And then last but least, Jaden Reed, broken collarbone, 6 to 8 weeks. Nobody has him on their team, I don't think. But if you guys are wanting a good laugh, go look up his video he did fresh from waking up from surgery. It was pretty funny. Um, yeah. So, anyways, moving on to here we go. Super close game that I probably didn't deserve to win. Narrowly defeat Lovett. I also, just complete side note here, I really hate how the game's already over. Stat corrections should have, would have, could have happened already. And it still says he has a 1% chance. Like, I know it says that everywhere, and I hate that. Like, it happened. I won. Give me 100%. But anyway. Yeah. So, Justin Fields shat the bed. CMC does CMC things. Josh Jacobs. JSN quietly looking like really good wide receiver 1 this year. DK saves the day with a touchdown. David Njoku is just whatever. Jameson Williams, good game. Ebuka, good game. Pittsburgh Steelers, welcome to the waiver wire. Scattaboo, people giving me shit for drafting over the quote-unquote RB1 on the team. Looking like he's getting some more work. Love that I got to pick up Baishal Tutin. R.I.P. Eckler. Jaden Daniels, decent game. I think would have done a little bit more. I think he got hurt mid-game or third quarter or something. So, good game from Gibbs. Kyron, you had to have been pissed that Blake Corum got the goal line touchdown. I know I was, because I have Blake Corum in Dynasty, and I did not want to win. And it got a little too close for comfort there. That's funny. I just saw he had 1 carry for -2 yards. I wonder if you get, I think you get a negative point from that. I think you do, because it's a negative yard. So like -10 yards or -2 yards would be -1 point either way. Anyway, that sucks. Still a good game from Cuge though. Deebo Samuel had a really good game as well. Brenton Strange, it's kind of it's strange. That's a weird stat line. Chase Brown, definitely. This is more like what I'm expecting from Chase Brown without Joe Burrow being in there. I know they were kind of in that game was a little bit closer than everybody would have thought, but I don't know. Trevion not getting the work ahead of Ramondre, disappointing. Caleb Johnson, I guess we were both wrong. Krosky Merritt, not a good game. Nick Chubb's looking like the person to have in Houston whenever Joe Mixon comes back. I'm not sure if it'll be like the Joe Mixon show or if Nick Chubb has earned some play there. I mean, not a great rushing day, but you're saved with touchdown and then the 2 receptions. So 2 points and then, 2 more points. So would have been not that great of a game otherwise, but he's on your bench, so it didn't matter. Matthew Golden shot the bed. And yeah. Moving on, Tiffany defeats Ben. Pretty good performances all the way around on Tiffany's team except for Marvin Harrison. He is starving. Dude is just... I have faith that he's gonna... I have him on my Dynasty team, so let's be transparent here. So I have a vested interest in Marvin Harrison because of that reason. I think dude just needs to remember that he's a big old boy and start playing like a big old boy instead of a big old pussy. Justin Herbert, looks like the Chargers' offense is also going to be pretty good, as well as their defense. So, good pickup there. And on Ben's team, obviously Joe Burrow, injury, sucks. Marion Hampton. I really don't know what's going on with the running game in, almost said San Diego, in LA. Marion Hampton, I know he's not getting the passing work, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know if Vegas has a good run defense or not, but I think this is 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. I mean, he had a better game against Kansas City, but snap percentages were down against Vegas. I don't know what's going on there. I still have faith that he'll be decent. Tony Pollard had an all right game. Tet McMillan, really good game. Jesus from the Sun God. Why did it do that? From the Sun God. 3 touchdowns for Amon-Ra. 115 yards. You love to see it. Laporta, disappointing game. I remember seeing an update that he was like in the medical tent or something. I guess he came back. I thought I saw the same thing in week 1, so if anybody wants to shed some light on Laporta and let me know if he's actually gotten quote-unquote hurt both games, I'm curious to know. A.J. Brown, Eagles offense, not doing it right now, so not a great game from him. Justin Jefferson, kind of a quiet game. I don't know if it had to do, I know it had to do with J.J. McCarthy's performance in the first half, but, they just got stomped by Atlanta, so. And some of this I might have gone over since I did the podcast on Saturday, but just pretend I didn't. Let's see. Quinshon Judkins, good game against Baltimore. Darnell Mooney, disappointing. Josh Downs, you're welcome, Ben. Can't stand that I had to fucking drop Josh Downs. Lance pulls out the victory against I Touched Lance, so reverse touching? Question mark. Yeah, it was pretty much on the back of Javonte and Malik Neighbors, and I'm going to be honest, I had zero faith in Javonte Williams doing anything like that at all this season. Dude's looking decent this game. I don't think he looked super great week 1, but still got the points and the yards and touchdowns and all that. He looked pretty good this game. Dallas just lost their center, I believe, so maybe temper expectations just a tad bit on Javonte, but still, he's the only one in that backfield. Miles Sanders is not getting any work, really, so Malik Neighbors, hell of a game there. Has a lot of receptions, a lot of yards, and a lot of touchdowns, so everybody else was kind of just meh. The defense put up a good performance, but not what you want to see from Jalen Hurts, not what you want to see from Ashton Genty. DJ Moore doing DJ Moore things. Kyle Pitts. We all believe, and then it just, yeah. So Ricky Pearsall, I think, also hurt by the negative yards there. Travis Hunter, I don't know what's going on with him. I know I'm pretty sure, it actually went down. They talked about it was going to go up, his snap percentage on offense. So that's interesting. Yeah. Cooper Kupp came back from the dead, so that was weird. Charbonnet, terrible game. And Kenneth Walker looked good again. So good luck figuring out which one of those to start. I know you don't actually have to because of you got those guys, but if you ever do have to start one, good fucking luck, buddy. Matt, good performances from Lamar and James Cook. Side note, I loved watching the Bills that James Cook run where I think it was Collinsworth. One of the announcers was like, James Cook has a really big run and does so many jukes and missed tackles and everything, and then they were like, oh, this is 100% Josh Allen. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. It was good. Good performance, James Cook, Lamar. ETN had a pretty good performance as well. Drake London, not a good game. Lost the fumble. A lot of points. Devonta Smith, same thing with the Eagles offense. Just not doing it. Olave had a decent game. Pacheco, not looking good at all. Very sad to see. Green Bay's defense really didn't do a whole lot. So I talked great about them, and they shit the bed. Good performance from Jawan Jennings. And kind of Stephon Diggs is another player that I really believed in that was going to be a thing this year. And so far, all he's done is got Cardi B pregnant. Or whoever the fuck he's dating. So congratulations, Lance. Kim defeats Becker. So the thing I said about the Buccaneers, she has too many players on the Buccaneers, it was kind of like, I'm going to give myself a 33% chance, or not 33% I was right on this because Mike Evans didn't have a very good game, but Bucky Irvin told me to shut the fuck up. And Baker had a pretty good game as well. Saquon, good stuff from him. Lad McConkey with the emergence of Huge and Keenan Allen. Well, the re-emergence of Keenan Allen, not the emergence, but caught all of his targets, but he's just not getting quality targets, so that's not good to see. DeAndre Swift, decent game. Devontae Adams, quietly looking like a steal in the draft for where you got him. Letting me know he still has it. And there's her bench. Jaylen Warren had a good game. So, Steelers. I mean, Seattle has a good defense too. So, I didn't have a chance to see the highlights of this game yet. But I will be watching them soon. Josh Allen, down game. You didn't need to throw the ball. You just hand it off to Cook. And, yeah. I think it was like that Jets touchdown was at the very end of the game, so I think it was like 30 or something to 3, I thought. Yeah. Disappointing, nonetheless. Bijan doing Bijan things. Breece Hall, very disappointing. You got to throw the ball. You're down. Got a couple receptions, but not a lot of yards. Tyreek had a decent game. Ridley was disappointing. Sorry, I keep burping. Hollywood was disappointing. I mean, that's okay, but you were hoping for more. Trey McBride, that's all you can ask for of a tight end. Chubba Hubba, good game as well. And left some points on the bench with Roma Dunze, which, I mean, nobody can blame you. Probably would have never started Roma Dunze. I think this was just Detroit had so many points and was running the score up that they had no choice but to pass. So I think that's why everybody's overvaluing Caleb Williams just a tad this week as well. J.K. Dobbins had a good game again, but congratulations, Kim, on the victory. And last but not least, Orshofsky defeats Timothy. Mahomes had a good game. A lot of rushing this time. That's kind of weird to see. But Derrick Henry. Wow. Terrible performance from Henry. But it's King Kong Henry, so what are you going to do? Jordan Mason, not a great game. Nico Collins, 3 for 9. He caught the touchdown to save your day, but the Texans offense is another one of those that's looking very, very disappointing. I don't know what's going on, but it's not looking pretty. Garrett Wilson sits on your bench, has a good game. You put him in the starting lineup. He has a meh game, so it's not fun to have happen to you. T. Higgins saves you with a touchdown. Otherwise, would have been kind of just one of those meh games. I don't know why you nicknamed him Toe Burrow at 4 in the morning or whatever, but thank you for waking me up because my sleeper alert went off at 4 in the morning. And I thought you named Joe Burrow, who wasn't on your team, Toe Burrow, and I'm just now realizing you named T. Higgins that. But yeah, if you want to refrain from 4 a.m. nicknamings, that would be awesome. Tucker Kraft, we already talked about it. Good game. Tyler Algier, he is a very. I'll give Tim his flowers here. Had him. I know he had him last year. This dude will be crazy if Bijan did go down, and he's still very relevant even without Bijan going down. So Atlanta loves Tyler Algier. Good game there. This is the one I know you're sad to see. George Pickens on the bench this week scores the points, whereas if you started him like you did last week, I mean, you probably still wouldn't have won because Orshofsky had a good week here, but it would have made you feel a little bit better. Yeah. Bo Nix, good game against Indianapolis. I watched the entirety of that game, and Denver deserved to win that game, but is what it is. And the reason they didn't, Jonathan Taylor, dude went hamburglar. Crazy. So, very good game from him. James Conner's decent. Jamar Chase was getting all those Jake Browning targets, so 36 points. You'll love to see it. Brian Thomas, is it a wrist injury? I know he had a couple drops. Who knows? TJ Hawkinson is just looking terrible. Ever since his injury, he has not looked good. So, good luck dealing with that. Terry McLaurin, again, hurting from Washington's offense being mid. Zay Flowers, pretty good game for Zay Flowers. I mean, you can't be sad with that at all. Braylon Allen not getting a lot of work. RJ Harvey, been very disappointing. I don't know what to do there. Kendre Miller, kind of same thing. Jacoby Myers, I feel like I saw something where Jacoby Myers had a touchdown, but it got called back. I don't know. It doesn't matter when it was on your bench. And Ramondre goes off on the bench as well. But doesn't matter. You won. Congratulations. So moving on to the projections. Oh wait, no. We're gonna go over this first. Hold on. Let's pull this screen up for a second. And go back. Did it go back? Perfect. My transitions work. So, waivers. Kim picks up Zach Ertz and drops Evan Ingram. Little bit of an overspend there, considering hindsight with only Lovett putting in a $2 bid. But I can't say a word about overspending. Wanted my guy Drake May. Got him. Unattested. Didn't need to spend the money. Wanted my backup quarterback that I've dropped like 3 times now, that apparently I'm so in love with that maybe I am. Way overbid on him. And somebody who I picked up for $11 who is no longer on my team because I just dropped him right before I started the show, Daniel Jones. Full transparency, Tyler had a big dum-dum moment. I put in multiple claims for other quarterbacks, such as Jared Goff, and had various different amounts on all of these people. Also had some defenses in there to pick up. Tyler forgot to change the values on 2 of the quarterbacks, And also had a big dumb move and didn't realize that I had 3 spots with the defense being empty. So I picked up 3 quarterbacks and no defense. You're welcome. I would have got the Buccaneers, I believe. I would have got the Colts if I wanted them. Now, granted, I did not put in a claim for the Colts. I would have missed out on Seattle as a $0 bid. Actually, okay, I would have missed out on Tampa too because I put in a $0 bid. But there would have been another defense here in the waiver section with my team on it. But any hoozles. Yep, everybody point and laugh at me for being a big idiot. And moving on. Been with a little bit of overpay for Jared Goff, but with Joe Burrow out, you had to have a quarterback. That's why I don't give myself too much shit for the little bit of the overbid on my quarterback because I needed one. But these two is sad. Seahawks go to Tim, drops Najee Harris. Love it. Chasing that potential week 3 touchdown with Troy Franklin that they're going to switch back and forth between Franklin and Mims every other week. I mean, here's to hoping that Troy Franklin is something because I like Troy Franklin, but yeah, sad to see my boy Caleb Johnson dropped. I will not be picking him up because he has been an utter disappointment so far, and I blame Arthur Smith. Love it also picks up Jake Ferguson to drop Brenton Strange. Bet that felt good. Tiffany picks up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and as I said, Becker gets Indianapolis, and there's my Daniel Jones drop. Let's just all laugh. The week 3 projections. I face off against Kim this week, and again, didn't write notes on why I thought this, but I think one of us is leaving here with a loss. I think, yeah. So me, Kim, and Tiffany are the only 2-0 teams, and after this week, there will for sure be one. Only a possibility of 2, and definitely not 3. And I think I'm being real here. I'm not trying to sit here and say I'm going to win every game. I think I take the loss this week for 2 reasons. 1, every single year when I play Kim, my team underperforms. It happens. It happened the year that I won the championship and I destroyed everybody else. When I didn't destroy everybody else, I got kind of lucky, but it doesn't matter. The years that I'm dominant, I lose to Kim twice every single year. It's my kryptonite. It's got to be because I put way too much time and effort into this, and she, in previous years, has had no idea what she's doing. But anyway, I'm keeping it going here. I think I lose. I also do like a lot of her matchups. Bucky Irving last week, a lot of receptions. I think I read that he's the leading reception running back out of the entire NFL. I might be getting that wrong. It might just be on the Buccaneers as far as like he has more receptions than Mike Evans, all the other receivers. But anyway, regardless, he's been killing it. Maybe fading Saquon's projection down a little bit, but then again, am I projecting the Eagles are going to pass the ball? Probably not, so maybe that is a Saquon thing. It's kind of why I'm there. Devontae Adams, apparently, I'm 100% wrong on him. I thought he was busted washed, and yeah, he's been doing really good. Mike Evans is a touchdown threat anytime he steps on the field. Travis Kelce, who the fuck else are they going to throw the ball to? I don't know. Still probably not Kelce, but it is what it is. Caleb Johnson's getting no work, so that means Jalen Warren is pretty good. And New England's defense is okay, but I think they are susceptible to the run. So Jaylen Warren in the backfield. And Lad McConkey. I don't think he gets the Surtain. Whichever receiver gets the coverage from Surtain, that's the one that's going to have a bad game. I highly doubt that it's huge. I think it's probably Keenan, but there's a chance it's Lad. If they split it, I don't really know. One of those three is gonna have a bad game, and just like no one knows, so it is what it is. Houston's defense against Jacksonville's whatever. DeAndre Swift against Dallas's terrible defense. Yeah, okay. I was getting ready to say that I would play him somehow, some way, but I understand why you're starting Warren over him. Pittman, I think he's going to have a big week against Tennessee. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm obviously salty about how Pittsburgh's defense was terrible, so hopefully Drake May can take advantage of that. But what'll probably happen is he'll throw 6 interceptions, and Pittsburgh's defense will look like, the 85 Bears. Anyway, CMC is going to have a good game. I'm still projecting Jacobs and Njigba have good games. I don't know about Metcalf. My tight end situation between Harold Fannin and David Njoku, they're going to get points. It's just who gets it this week. Or is it an even split? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Jameson Williams against Baltimore. I'm actually projecting a pretty big game from him. I kind of wish I would have put more money on Jared Goff for the stack, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. Mecca Ibuka, I think he has a good game as well. And I hope that he catches every single touchdown pass from Baker Mayfield this week. Kyler against San Francisco, I'm just not doing it. I know whatever decision I decide to go with is going to be the wrong one. Yeah, I don't know. And, I'm not playing Jalen Waddle, so he's got to show me first. I think Kim wins that one. I have Tiffany defeating Lance this week, and here's why. I like the matchups. Whether she plays Herbert or Dak, I think both of them will do well this week. I like Achane this week. I like Kamara this week. I like CD to finally get in the end zone. I think he's the only... No, I take that back. I just forget what I was saying. CD, I feel like gets in the end zone against Chicago. Puka Nacua, we all left for dead. He's doing very well. The Tyler Warren pick she stole from me is doing very well. Good luck starting Marv and Keenan Allen. I don't know. Like I said, Surtain coverage, whichever one gets it, will not do very well. But you sure should not starting Xavier Worthy, who does look like he will play week 3. On the other side, Matt's got Lamar, which you never go against Lamar. James Cook is showing us that he can get 17,000 touchdowns every season. Travis Etienne, I honestly don't know. He'll probably have a good game. Yeah. Drake London's been very disappointing this year. Hopefully, he's over whatever injury stuff that he's had going on and can do it against Carolina. If he doesn't do it against Carolina, that's not good. Devonta Smith is on the Eagles offense, on the passing side of the Eagles offense. So far that's been god awful. You're hoping Brock Bowers has a good game again. What did he do in week 2? Yeah, he played quite a bit, but only 51% of the snaps week 1. That's kind of weird. I did not know that. Anyway, Chris Olave and David Montgomery, you're just hoping for a touchdown. Green Bay against Cleveland, not a bad bet. Yeah, you sit Pacheco's ass down and make him show you before he even sniffs the starting lineup again. So Juwan Jennings is really the only one you maybe throw in there against Arizona. But after their defensive performance last week, I don't know. Projecting Tiffany. I've got this one being the closest game of the week and a toss-up, but I'm agreeing with this and saying Lance is going to win. I do like the Jared Goff play. I like the Tet and Amon-Ra. I almost said Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra play. I am looking for Laporta to get a touchdown and get back on the board. And I don't know what to think of Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Tony Pollard, Amari, and Hampton. Denver has a decent defense, so I'm a little scared about here. The Colts, I watched both of these games, and I don't know what to think about the Colts. One play, they look like a Super Bowl contender, and the next play, they look like they're competing for the number one pick. So maybe it's the fandom in me. I don't know. And that's on offense and defense for the Colts. I don't know. Obviously, Pollard could do it with some receptions. I don't like playing Baltimore's defense against Detroit, who just put up 52 points. I don't see anybody else that you do play, though, so I get it there. I think that's a pretty high projection from Jalen Hurts, but the Rams do have a good defense. I don't know if they're going to be able to pass it, but Jalen Hurts does have running potential, so Javonte Williams against Chicago, I think he'll do all right. Really hoping Genty has a bounce back week for selfish dynasty purposes. I'd like to see it at least once. Malik Neighbors against Kansas City, they're going to have to throw the ball because they're going to be down. But I do think it's a little bit of a slower game, so I think maybe he has a little slight dip off of that 18-point projection. DJ Moore, I don't fucking know. Kyle Pitts, it's against Carolina, so if he's going to do it, this would be the time to do it. Ricky Pearsall, again, San Francisco is so confusing without Brock Purdy. I don't know. I really don't. But I got Kenneth Walker having a good game against New Orleans, so slight edge to Lance there. They got this one at a 50-50, and unfortunately, I don't. I've got somebody running away with this game, and it's probably going to go the exact opposite the way I'm saying it, but I'm calling them like I sees them. And let's go over this before I give you my... We'll save it. We'll save the prediction for last and let it be juicy and no spoilers. I think like I said earlier, I think Jaden Daniels plays, but I don't think he plays super well. So it's still Jaden Daniels. I think he has a decent game, but the rushing upside is almost non-existent to me this week. So that puts a huge cap on what he can actually do. Do like Jahmyr Gibbs. The Lions would be stupid to not get him involved in some way, shape, or form. Kyron Williams, the goal line touch is going to Blake Corum. I know it was only 1 week, still a little concerning to me, but I think it was probably just a fluke. Quentin Johnston, I think is going to have a good game. He's not going to be covered by Patrick Surtain. There's just no way. And so he's the one I think that's going to get peppered. Deebo Samuel, I think is going to have another good game. Granted, it is dependent on Jaden Daniels, but with Jaden Daniels being a statue in the pocket this week, I think Debo gets some of that juicy points, maybe a touchdown. With such confidence, I say. Jake Ferguson, who knows? With every tight end, you're just hoping for a touchdown. So I'm pretty much just gonna gloss over it. Chase Brown. This could go one of two ways. They could just use him and run, and run again. Or he could be absolute garbage and the entire offense could be absolute garbage. Other than Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase is going to get hyper targeted by a backup quarterback. It's just a thing. So, honestly, obviously you're hoping for the run situation, but yeah, nobody else that you would play in your starting lineup, I don't think. So going to Tim, Patrick Mahomes against the Giants defense. I think he's going to have a mid-game. Derrick Henry bounces back for sure. For sure. Maybe not to the extent of week 1, but still he's going to have you're going to be happy with the Derrick Henry game, or at least what's the word I'm looking for? Content. You're going to be content. Jordan Mason. Cincinnati's defense is terrible. Aaron Jones is on IR. Jordan Mason's looking real good this week. Nico Collins. I don't know. He's talented, obviously, but that offense has just been terrible. But if anybody's going to get a touchdown in that passing offense, it's going to be Nico. Garrett Wilson who's Tyrod Taylor playing. Not thrilled about it. But again, who else are they going to throw it to? Tucker Kraft. He's been crafting up some touchdowns and some points, so I'm not going to go against him right now. T. Higgins, I think, has a shit game. Like, shit game. Unless he gets a touchdown. But he's going to have low receptions, low yards. So if he has a good game, it's going to be on the back of a touchdown. That's just honestly what you're hoping and praying for. Cortland Sutton, wouldn't expect a whole lot against the Chargers. I would definitely play George Pickens over T. Higgins this week. At least make sure that you see it. Or you could even, which I guess this was playing keep away. I mean, Juwan Johnson has been pretty good and flex worthy, but you're not going to start him over Tucker Kraft. So, yeah, I mean, I would throw Juwan Johnson in there over T. Higgins as well. That one's a little closer, but yeah. So, my pick this week for the blowout. I'm second guessing myself, but I'm just gonna go for it. Tim blows Lovett out of the water. Gets his first win of the season on the back of Jordan Mason, Derrick Henry, Tucker Kraft, and Nico Collins. Moving on. Oops. Last one. Becker and Jordan. Picking Becker to win. But I do like Jordan's team. I just don't know about the matchups this week. Indy always plays weird against Tennessee. Things that should happen don't happen. Things that shouldn't happen do happen. It's just what I've learned. So Taylor, obviously he's going to have a good game. As far as like you'll be content with what he does. Does he have a great game? I don't think so. James Conner, I think he's splitting a little bit too much with Trey Benson right now for my liking to be happy with, or at least excited about what I think he's going to do. Uh, Bo Nix not hooked this week. If you get the hooked on Bo Nix joke, then congratulations, I love you. Jamar Chase is going to be doing Jamar Chase things. Brian Thomas, again, I don't know what to think of him right now. Temper expectations until proven otherwise. I think Hawkinson is washed. Terry McLaurin, is he the one that benefits from the statue this week that will be Jaden Daniels? Probably not. Just because I feel like he's the one that they cover and Debo's like fucking wide open. Zay Flowers would not be expecting last week to happen again this week. I think 17-point projection is why the fuck? 17-point projection on Zay Flowers is way overshooting it. I'm thinking more like 6, 7, 8 points. But you don't play anybody else. I guess maybe you consider Jacoby Myers against Washington, but you got to just hope that it happens again. Josh Allen definitely bounces back. Definitely when you see that they play Miami. There's a slight little twinge of concern with the same thing last week that they get up so much that they don't need him. But I think Tua will play decently enough to keep them more in the game than the Jets did. Bijan against Carolina. Yeah, he's awesome. Move on. Breece Hall against Tampa Bay. Not thrilled about that one. This is literally week 1, he looked amazing. Week 2, he didn't look that good. I don't know what to think of Breece Hall. So, Tyreek, maybe a little strong projection, but if anybody's going to get the touchdown, it's probably him. Jalen Waddle will probably be in the medical tent when that happens. Rome Odunze, I do not expect last week to happen again this week for Rome Odunze, but it's Dallas's defense. They're terrible. Could very easily happen. Don't blame you for the start there. Trey McBride, he's a good tight end. You move on. J.K. Dobbins has been the one looking like he's had the juice more so than R.J. Harvey, which I can't believe that those words came out of my mouth. If you would ask me 2, 3, 4 weeks ago if who's going to have the better season come week 3, J.K. Dobbins or R.J. Harvey, I would have probably put a lot of money on R.J. Harvey, and I would have lost a lot of money. So, Chuba Hubba going up against Atlanta. He'll have a good game. I'm perplexed by the Colts' defensive start against Cam Ward, and I know that you're picking on Cam Ward with this. Cam Ward, to me, hasn't looked terrible. He's had his struggles, but I don't think the Colts' defense is good enough to target Cam Ward. So, a little perplexed by that, but, I mean, you know. I do like that you have Trey Benson on the bench, so that if it's on your bench, if they split work and Trey Benson ends up getting the touchdown. So, you're angry with Calvin Ridley and Hollywood, so you sit him on the bench. I get it. I personally would consider. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing, Becker. It's dirty. You think you got this one in the bag, so you're starting your low end floor running backs in the flexes to make sure that you'll get the maximum amount of floor points, and you're setting your risky Keon Coleman and Jerry Jeudy on the bench so that you don't accidentally lose it this week. I get it, but that's Bush League. We play to win. Balls on the table, sir. But I'm still picking you regardless. I think whatever option you end up going with, outside of Ridley, or Trey, outside of Ridley, would be a decent flex play. I'd probably leave it too because I'm also just in it to win it. So, yep, that's all for this week. Here's the standings. Like I said earlier, 3 undefeated teams. Only one will definitely survive. 2 is the minimum possibility. And Love It plays Tim, so there will potentially only be 2 0-3 teams this week. But yeah, so this right now is what the playoffs would look like. So that 6th seed right now. Okay, yeah, it would be Jordan because they have the better record. But actually, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the record. What am I saying? So the 6th seed right now, if the season was to end, would be Love It because he has, or no, sorry, Tim because he has. I'm looking at points allowed. I'm stupid. I am just incredibly stupid. It would be Love It. By the narrowest of margins, it would be Love It. Why does it do that? I don't know. I'm ending it. It's late. I need to take my medicine. I bet Microsoft would love my perspective. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching / listening. Hopefully you were laughing with me at my stupidity and not at me. And if anybody and their freaking mother would like to join the podcast next week, that'd be fantastic because I'm sure you guys are getting super tired of me giving these stupid takes that end up being wrong every single week. It would be nice to get a fresh perspective in here. So if you want to join the podcast, I do it Wednesdays or Thursdays. I could do it on Tuesday as well. We just won't see the waiver stuff. But who cares? It doesn't matter. Come on, let's talk. Thanks for watching, listening.